So, con artists, when you start building on gold, when you start talking about resources that's naturally here for us to get, and we
Absolutely.
haven't been taught the necessary ways to get it anymore. Like now, this is even more saturated for us.
But the
So,
focal point is we had it and it got taken from us. We've all had grandparents that had land, houses that got stripped away because of eminent domain, gentrification or whatever underhanded, means there was, real estate broker knowing the value of your property and offering you 25% or a third, letting your house go into disrepair and then come sweeping it and flipping it, for $500,000 or $1 million. And those is grounds you can't get back. But learning those things happen from hip hop, listening to lyrics, KRS-One, Boogie Down Production, so many teachers, Guru, Gangstar. You start listening, and then you start to question the reality that you're looking at.
you give more credit to them than your teachers?
Balance, because my teachers had the right intentions, and they have a curriculum that
Okay.
they're paid to teach, so they're not doing anything wrong. Just like any employee, you have guidelines and you have rules to follow or you get fired. But that's not to say when I would see my teachers out and about in the community that they weren't feeding me gems or giving me insight that I wasn't getting in the classroom. And I have a relationship with those teachers to this day. Shout out Donna Perrier, etc. And a lot of those teachers became community activists, mayors of certain cities, towns, councilmen, etc. So it was a plethora of, school, the books, me being insightful, always looking for the elders' opinions and their takes, the 5% Nation, music, as many resources as possible. You can gain and learn a lot from even the brokest human being. And, some of those things will teach you what not to do. And I've always been an advocate of, if my story ever come out, which it took 30 years for me to be comfortable to let it out, between you and Queen's podcast, that you can go through immense trauma, disappointment, people not believing in you, the worst circumstances. But if you walk the straight and narrow and you find your strength or your inner talents and somehow bestow that upon the public, you could be a public figure and be of some importance. You may not be on, TV or Jimmy Fallon, whatever the case may be, but you could be a local hero in your community and within your surroundings, and you can be, a vessel for the people that are influenced by you.
Well, I can't lie, man. Even you getting to that point, that's what I stand for.
Yeah.
I was on a call today with my brother Javon from the Mamie Moore Park. I performed over there on Thursday.
Absolutely.
And I perform annually. Once a year, he give me a platform. He called me today to say, hey, man, you've been pretty diligent with doing this. You've been consistent. You haven't let up. You always promote. You always keep things going for other people. When you're out here, you make the community feel welcome. You always positive. You ain't cussing the people out. And what you just said, it matters when you have a good mindset and your integrity and you mean well and you're not trying to do wrong. So again, this is all about positivity, brother. So for you to even share how well you've maintained being a positive individual in this town, it's made a difference. It's made a difference of you even representing the Hood Solid brand, standing behind me like you do at all costs, and then even reaching out to brothers who may not even want to do music no more, and you still showing them that love.
Trying to put that spark back in them. Yeah, absolutely. Because, if you've ever done it, it's still part of your history. Why not revisit it, and maybe you can contribute something better than what you was doing 15, 20 years ago. If your message was, popping guns, popping pills, selling, moving weight, whatever the commonalities were back then, your message is just important now as it was back.
Well, that's why I
then.
asked
you
you
might have
that.
a different audience.
That was why I asked you that. It wasn't to try to put down the artist that's new. I wasn't trying to put down our new artists coming out, but anytime I sat with a DJ who's constantly listening to words, and especially you, my hands, head, my heart was a song of mine you always liked, and that was stone cold lyrical.
Yeah, and that's a testament to me having my preference, but I can't make my preference discriminate against talent that wants to get their visual off
Well,
in the
okay.
text of lyricism.
And guess what? There's no disagreement there. But what I'm saying to you is, just like you learned from the gang stars, the Rakims, the people that you said, the hieroglyphics or poor righteous teachers, KRS-One, Public Enemy. What I'm saying is, just to be absolutely frank and real, those guys were spitting lyrics to you, and those guys were almost teaching you to be militant and revolutionary, teaching you to be very Muhammad Ali-ish in your mental frame. If you understand what I'm trying to say, what I mean is, the way I was trying to go with that question was basically to see that the results from the guys you said you listened to almost made you to who you are today.
Absolutely.
So when I go and ask you a question about these lyrics that you listened to 50, 25 years ago that made you become who you are, these lyrics right now are affecting them just like they did you, because they are really doing drills. They are really overdosing every night. They are really dying. So not that I'm trying to get you to blame these. I'm a lyricist. I love writing truth, especially working with the youth. So I'm just sounding so passionate right now, brother, because I'm not trying to get you to agree with me wholeheartedly, but I'm trying to get you to at least see that the way you use those words back then helped you become who you are today. Today, these lyrics, I can't say the same for these young people.
It took me years to understand how much of an influence that was. But at the same token, that comes with maturity. And, you know, I didn't have support from my biological mother. My biological father was absent. So my learning vessels had to be what they were. Otherwise, where I was going to get the resources from, the rest of my family was in, you know, North Carolina, Jersey. So I literally had nowhere to look for, you know, the resources and the things that I need, you know. So
is that why you think from your past, and because you really you put making sure this family thing is put out there so we can know maybe what you really went through? Is it safe to say that we almost became your family? Like, I'm saying the hip hop.
Absolutely.
Because that's the feeling I'm getting. Look, let me shake your hand on that. Because that's the feeling I'm getting, man, from all of this. That you saying, it's almost like, because you on this family thing, you are telling us that we became your family.
Absolutely. And that I shouldn't have to say that.
I hope y'all feeling this.
That should be known, because
I've always felt like family, just to be absolutely real.
But what I've given to... Now, every artist, their personality and their traits are different. But every artist that I've ever worked with, I've always invested, whether it be time, my own money, and reinforced my expectations. Whether it was like, hey, you can make a good song, but try to deliver a message somewhere in your body of work. If you got 10 songs talking about how much money you made from hustling, how many bitches you fucked, this, that, and the third, cool. If that's what you want to project, I don't represent that, but as a service, I'll contribute to helping your message get out there. But in return, I need one track, at least, focused on some positivity, something that contributes to the culture, because how I move is culture based. I am hip hop. Hip hop is about unity, having fun,
absolutely,
productivity, educate. There's so many elements of hip hop. So if you don't carry that, you're a rapper to me, and that's a whole nother discussion. But to your question about drill rap and things that are happening now, you have to recognize that it's a new subgenre that evolved from hip hop. Rapping and hip hop are two different things. These young kids are rapping. They don't know who the artists are that me and you grew up off of. They don't even know music from Marvin Gaye's. I didn't just get my influence from rap. I was learning from Teddy P. How to get busy in the bedroom.
we all know them R&B days before, when them R&B, when them mama and them used to listen to them songs and they was sneaking boning a girl while you was singing the record. You're like, did he just bone that girl? They was dropping bars.
I learned how to be sensual and treat a woman from Barry White, Marvin Gaye,
absolutely.
Teddy Pendergrass,
Marvin Gaye, one of my favorites.
Blue
man.
Magic, the Delphonics. I can go back.
But guess what? Guess how deep this is, though. So we talking about these guys, these entertainers, these other people, right?
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye was killed by his father.
Yeah.
just goes to show why family is everything. Like what people don't understand is my friend didn't just come to sit down and do an interview about rapping. What he's trying to let you guys know, you women know, you children know, all the hip hop people out there and across the globe. Everybody had family first. What was your family life like? What was your past like? And what my man doing is just breaking it down. All of us got a story. That's what's crazy. We all can tell a story. I mean, I can tell so many stories. I'm talking about make some people cry from what I done went through.
Yeah.
You know?
But the point being is most people listen to music. There's a very small minority that...
What's influencing you is, I guess, what makes you who you are. And I guess until you learn, like you said, I guess what we just said a little bit ago, when the youngsters start to learn their value and their worth.
Absolutely.
That's where.
That's going to come with maturity. A lot of these kids dropped out of school. They didn't have parents. How many of their dads is in the penal system? Or how many of their moms, on drugs, have alcohol
selling
issues,
her body still in 2026.
or have mental issues.
Mental health
diseases.
issues is the highest. Do you understand how high that is?
So I don't blame the youth. I just hope that they prosper and evolve. And if they don't, they're just going to be one of a million artists that came and went. And I know that. So I look at it like they won't be. What did Craig Mack say? You won't be around next year.
Well, and this is what I just told the youngster today. I said, you can get in trouble. You can go break all types of laws if you want to. And you'll become from federal to incredible. Meaning you'll go to prison, do your time, and come home and get a chance to do it again. Yeah. Here's the problem. This new system, this new privatized jail system, they're giving them 30, 40, and 50 years for the same crime.
Football numbers.
They giving them so much time. They ain't coming. A man sat here 3 nights ago. I did an interview. He did 40 years. He gave him 40 years total.
Systematic oppression.
Guess what he said? His past trauma from parental guidance wasn't suggested. He said mom and dad wasn't the best for him, and his whole life was in shambles because of parental guidance. So when you think about our lives, our parents, my dad and my mom, guess what? My dad was in and out of jail, on drugs, in the street. I still give my dad credit and a lot of points for me becoming who I am, but he wasn't the father figure that I hoped or I thought from the other people's dads that I was raised by. I was raised by several uncles, different men that I looked up to. Father figures.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I can honestly say I can feel where you're coming from, because guess what? My mama raised me single. I went and got my mom today, by her side as much as I can be. And this just goes to show you the difference in between how we still had to make it to where we are today to serve our purpose. Not only did you serve your purpose well, my brother, but no one can say you was without except for you. So where you are today, it's a gift that you can even share this information and give the world Keyshawn. See, I have to be real with y'all. He doesn't really ever open up about nothing that's personal. So for me to even get him to have a one-on-one sit down with this man, I don't know if he's going to do this again for anybody, because again, for him to bust this down on the plate, I ain't rushing him. I ain't even trying to force him to get up and leave, because guess what? This is a gift to be in his presence.
Yeah,
so
it took a lot to get to this point where I could open. So
I'm talking about, brother, just 72 hours ago, you standing around Shade 45. You got 5 or 7 artists that came from Cleveland. You got 14 guys you just put on the bill here. They got a video shoot over there for copyright. I'm talking about so many things that you had your hands in. And I'm talking about Nelly was here Wednesday. Big Daddy Kane and them was here tonight. You got Fabulous
tomorrow
here.
Night.
No, they here tonight.
Oh, okay.
It's Friday.
But the funk
well,
fest
some of
tomorrow.
them is here tonight already.
Yeah, okay.
You have Signature Entertainer, remember, the African American Wellness Walk is tomorrow. The Funk Fest is tomorrow. Columbus, Ohio was jumping. Charleston White is here right now. DJ Connors is here right now. Wallo Reall. What I'm saying is y'all don't understand. Ohio is popping, man. There's so many entertainers in the city right now tonight. And look what we doing on a Friday night. We doing an interview that's busting down my brother's whole demonstration of his history from Mixed Vibes Entertainment in Columbus, Ohio, and he's breaking down why he loves the city so much. And he continues to support. What's going to take that? And you just going to do this till it's over, man?
Till it's over, till I stop breathing. It's my purpose. It's my calling. I didn't know what my calling was. But this
Can I get some of this?
Absolutely. But this was my design. Like, damn, man, my life is fucked up. What can I do to turn this around? And if I'm looking for inspiration, why wouldn't I get to the point where I'm mature enough and, financially stable, where I have my own home and a structured environment to give back.
But that's what we supposed to do, right? That's normally the goal, right?
Another me out there somewhere, and you know, granted, I can't touch shit and make gold, but if I can make an influence, and for you to say I've had an impact on you, I've had a lot of people say that in some form of context. I've already succeeded. I could, you know, God willing, but if I did pass away tomorrow, I know one thing for sure, whether I'm able to have a funeral or not, people are definitely going to speak on my behalf, post some pictures and have some long ass captions. You know, I know that because I know with my heart.
So that's your legacy would be, what would be your legacy? What you just said? And pretty much, I mean, in so many words.
You can come from 0 and be 100. You can come from 0 and be 100.
And that's how you got to look at this life.
And you can do it. I'm alcohol free.
Y'all hear that?
I don't do drugs.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't smoke cigarettes.
He ain't run to the stressors.
That's not to say I wasn't sipping on a Saint Ives in the mid-90s.
He said he used to drink 40 ounces though.
Puffing on some, they call it reefer.
Oh, he said he smoked some reefer, y'all.
Reefer, chronic. You know what I mean?
With the seeds. You like the weed with the seeds in it.
The stems and the seeds.
Come on,
terrible.
man.
Those was the worst days. But listen, even then, if I had a Philly blunt or a Dutch Master, I would, you know why? Because I never wanted to do it. That's one of the few times where I let peer pressure kick in. Even then, my intelligence was like, all right, I'm reading the room. I can't be the eyeball out.
Yeah, I got to fit in somewhere.
I'm in the room with the thugs, and I can't be that cornball. So, let it loose. I'm good. Sip on.
Just real quick, just here.
Here's my
but you know what? Guess what?
Let
me tell you something.
Or my old
like I teach some of my students, like I teach some of my own children and nieces and nephews. Sometimes you got to play the fool to look cool. I hate to say that when I say play the fool to look cool. Guess what? We on the block standing, and I know they Gary go home and get some guns and start shooting. Man, my mom just now told me I got to come home, bro. I got to go. Look, they say sometimes you ain't got to tell a lie, but if you tell a smart lie, you'll live a long time.
But you know what I would do after that? Now that I have the room, you know, like everybody's in allegiance, I would take that opportunity. And you know what we would do? We would recite lyrics.
Okay.
We would recite lyrics.
Okay.
We'd go to the boardwalk or to the beach, freestyle, do ciphers on the boardwalk. So I'm taking that negative element of me having to succumb to that environment that I don't want to be a part of, but these are my peoples. If anybody laid a finger on me, I know this room is going to go bonkers. They're going to pull out the knives, the box cutters. Some of these cats I was hanging with had the jail bills. Shit would turn over because everybody know at that point I'm health compromised because of my kidney disease. Shit would go down. So I was essentially untouchable in them rooms, but I didn't want to make them feel uncomfortable. You get what I'm saying?
Well, it seemed like you always seem, from what I'm getting out of all of this, is you use your smarts
to navigate.
And I can't lie, from everything that I've done in my life, I always use my lyrics. I use my raps for business deals. I use my raps to get this commercial. I use my raps to get in this school. I use my raps to even meet my printers and start doing my own clothing line. That came from a song, Hood Salad, that started the clothes. So listen, I've used my raps and my lyrics and my intelligence and smarts to dodge jail, getting shot, getting killed, getting robbed, selling dope, selling pills, selling coke, drinking lean. I'm talking about, just to be honest with you, while we building right now with this, my rap saved my life tremendously. And again, having to go back to even meeting you to catapult me to another level when I go out the trunk down. Now, instead of going out the trunk ragged, I'm going out the trunk with a little more demonstration, a little bit more pizzazz, a little bit more class, a little bit more, oh my God, this nigga look like the real thing. Then guess what happened? 5 to 7 to 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 to 100 other rappers adopted the style. Not that I created anything, but from this man blessing me, I was able to bless. So this is what makes this a beautiful day and a beautiful life for me, because having somebody like this that's been instrumental in my life, I'm not going to have too many interviews where I'm able to even say this about the person sitting next to me, because this man's pure inspiration. And for me to even be to where I'm at today, he put me in the situation.
And what I've witnessed, and by no means am I trying to take credit, but if I influenced like you said, the evolution. I see how you won't perform without banners now. Your advertising game is on A+. I see you putting up the banners and doing window treatments because you want those businesses to look as good as the services that they provide. And that's what I'm talking about as far as image.
That's how you learn from somebody.
And with you doing that, cars would go past certain sections of Mock Road and be like, oh, that's disenfranchised or whatever. And you're you're gentrifying in the hood solid way. You're beautifying people's, attitude, perception. And that's a credit to what I've witnessed. And whether that comes from your CDs, I feel like that is a direct influence because you won't come out the crib without representing yourself. And what did I tell you when we first met?
Fam, I won't come out my house. I won't come out my house without my name tag. I won't even come out my house. And this is listen, I won't come out my house without this. And these are old, but I can't really move without them because I'm so used to representing. And guess what? When you learn from a person who cares, see, I'm giving this guy his flowers. I don't know how many more flowers I'm going to give him, but I'm going to keep giving them to him every time I see him because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the Bit the Bullet. I wouldn't have the Realest Alive. I wouldn't have the Hood Solid. I wouldn't have the Industry Made. I wouldn't have the Hardest Working Artist. I wouldn't have the Hood Solid album that's Gary come out. So I just got to be honest, man, and just say, when you come across somebody like this that continues to push you and continue to support you, from the first time they met you to now, 72 hours ago, he has me on Shade 45 right now. To this day, he's still helping me work and push and grind. And he's right there.
Then your involvement, the education system. I mean, you would be the poster child of, if I can express my commitment and who I am, I would absolutely say you're a descendant of my philosophy at the very least. I can't speak on how you feel about me, but if I had to have a poster child of, man, if you just listen, you're going to get there. It may take 3 years, 5 years, 10 years,
right?
But if your maturation process gets to the point where you stop talking and start listening, and one thing to listen, you got to process the information. And then the moment that you do something that has an impact on somebody, how many times has somebody come up with you to this or any CD that you did with or without me and be like, yo, that song, it hit some nerves. It had an influence. It spoke to me in volumes. And you walked away from that shit like, damn, my music reaches people. It touches people. If it didn't, you wouldn't continue to make music.
That's what was fueling this because of stuff like that. I remember I was writing songs for my cousin when they was just getting out of jail, and I have a song written about everything they did when they went. They said, man, that song is hard. You wrote about all that stuff, man. You tight, cuz. You should start really rapping. Then my cousin got shot 6 times. Did a song about it called 6 of them. He said, man, you wrote a song about me getting shot. Man, that was hard. You really a narrator. Your rhymes are prolific. I said, man, I can see some of the stuff I say. So let me start getting a little bit more serious about topics of songs and boom, boom, boom. Then coming across your path and meeting my producers. And like I said, shout out to Sharab, Makeaboard Sounds, Old Sharp. I'm talking about when we first dropped back.
J. Ross, the curators of education.
My first song was called Lifetime with Spade, who was that? Killer Dawn, Big Mar, Wallaby. We did our first song on the Makeaboard tape. It's just interesting how we go back to so many names, so many producers in Columbus. Like Columbus got so many names. They showed a list from Cleveland the other day, and they were showing all the artists that were from Cleveland. I said, damn, there's a lot of artists really from Columbus. And then when you put Ohio just together, even when you get back to go to the Roger Troutman, we ain't even gonna do that because if we go back to the old school, California almost make you feel like they Ohio.
The world is a big place and there's pockets. Just like when you walk into a lunchroom in high school, you're going to sit with people you're comfortable with and that you know. So Columbus is not divided at all. We just have, and this is for every city. I hate that when like, oh, Detroit don't support one another. Oh, this.
And they damn sure look like it. From the perception, Detroit look like
every time I've seen Detroit,
look like they work with each other.
City,
shout out to Detroit.
They get together.
We see the D doing their work.
They putting it down, but I think people want to be in their comfort zone. No different than me. If I wanted to touch 100 artists in a city just to do it, I could do it. I know that many people. But to have a relationship with an artist and to believe in an artist, and to believe that what I'm projecting is being received and is eventually going to turn into something that I'm gonna look back and be proud of. It might be a handful of people, and you would be the first and one of. So, in a sense, I feel like when you speak to the youth and you planting seeds, and this would be for any artist that I've ever worked with or not worked with, everyone is doing their part or whatever they're capable of. But my influences, your influences, you're in a situation where those artists that you talking about that's talking about killing, just throw a couple seeds at them.
Well, that's the goal. That's what we're working on.
Throw a little
Trust
bit
me,
of water,
man, that's the goal. The goal isn't to watch every one of these little young boys shoot and kill each other. That's not the goal.
And come back to them in 5 years, and they're going to tell you, you know what? You made me think a different way.
Listen, man, there's so many youth.
I was in a position to take what you planted in me
and use
be
it,
able to process it and finally use it because my circumstances are better
in a positive manner.
So you have to be patient with them in the meantime.
This is what makes this beautiful. Because we ain't giving up on society, because we're not giving up on our communities, because we're not giving up on our young nobles. Excuse me, they call them YNs. All right, we can't be afraid of these young brothers and sisters, not for 1 second or 1 day, because they lose their life just that quick. What I'm gonna say is this. Like you just now said, the small seeds, the small morsels, the small pinches, the small tugs, the words. The brother who was here who did 40 years said nobody told him as a youngster positive things. They showed him guns, drugs. Yes, the guns, the drugs. He said they showed him the guns, the drugs.
I met him at the youth academy.
That's it. Yeah, good brother.
Yeah, doing free haircuts. Salute to him.
So when we thrive to change society, we have to use the youth. We can't be oblivious to what they know. They helping us stay. KRS just said it in the interview. I reposted it. The young people give us the game. We give them the game to use, but we get game from them to know what's going on right now. If we ignore what they got going on, we're dead.
I had a conversation maybe 2 months ago with O Sharp, and he was explaining his educational programs that he's involved in and his resources. And I'm like, you know what? All of these disenfranchised youth, you know, kids that are rebelling, doing this, that, and the third, probably listen to hip or rap. Hip hop, rap, whatever, but more so rap. You know what I mean? Your NBA young boys, your young thugs, whatever happens to be popular now. And I'm like, how cool would it be for these kids that probably have never even been to Six Flags, never been to Grand Rapids, never been to Zumbizi Bay, never been to Kings Island, Cedar Point, to see what the world looks like outside of their avenue or their surroundings. How dope would it be for someone, you know, like the mayor to be like, hey, we're going to give you guys, the J. Rawls, the Wallabies, the O Sharps, and anyone else in the educational field, resources and tools. She'd be like, hey, how dope would it be if we could make this kid that's a frequent absentee go to school for 90 days straight with 0 misses? Let's reward him with a ticket to a concert for his favorite rapper.
Well, and you know, that sounds so great because it's a lot of programs. OBK. I can name several programs out there that may not be that specific, but they have a nice program where they are paying the youth $3,000 each. I can name 3 or 4 programs in Columbus. I know the city funded to do that. The goal is now when the summer's over, how well can they maintain discipline when they ain't getting paid no more? So this is where beautiful
that
ticket
would be a subsidiary because that's when kids are out of school and they're vulnerable.
So that's what most of the businesses and programs and all the organizations, nonprofit, for-profit, they want to find a way to save more youth out here that's too free. And you got to remember, man, that phone, that free range of social media, it's just taking its toll on so many of the minds that it's causing mental health problems and issues because they want to fit in, acceptance. You've been bullied, a cyber bully. It just changes the way we was raised because we wasn't used to that. So that's why young people are important to us because that's the only way we gonna know what's going on. Watching what they do and like, man, they doing that now.
But there's enough sponsorships when you look at all of these events that come in and you look at the bottom of
You know we paying attention.
and you see Giant Eagle, Kroger.
There's an African American wellness walk tomorrow, brother.
Absolutely.
They got
Which I will
almost
be present at
like
7 in the morning.
200 sponsors.
Exactly. So my point being is there's people that have excess funds. Obviously they write it off as a tax write-off, but that's to our benefit, and they're willing to give it, but no one's coming to pull for it, with the exception of a few educated people that know about grants and how to extract
that's
resources.
where education comes in, and
Absolutely.
that's good that you even hit that point because this is what Columbus has to recognize. If you're not educating yourself to be in the room with the same type of individuals who have a higher level of education than you, be careful when you go to that room because they know who you are. They know who you affiliate with. Like Columbus is a very small place. And we ain't going to lose topic of the conversation, but when we start talking about getting sponsorship dollars and getting grants, that's when now you elevate your skills. So this is when you ain't rapping about shooting and killing and dying and robbing and stealing and drug dealing and causing chaos in people's life. So this is when if you became that positive artist or this individual who's using your music as a positive tool, he just said it. You ain't gonna go to sponsors if it ain't right. You ain't gonna get no marketing dollars from somebody that want to invest in you unless they believe in you and you believe in you. So it goes so many different ways when it comes to that, because to have a child not miss no days of school, what's it like at home? Yeah. Is that what a factor? I mean, so when we say don't miss no days of school, he might miss school because mom and dad and them ain't.
So the music component, to my point earlier, is a way to get someone's attention. That's not to say that within the hour or two prelude to the concert that we can't take some of those grants from Giant Eagle and Kroger and make sure that they have an appropriate meal in a cafeteria setting where you're sitting with a bunch of strangers that forces you to shake hands and sit with someone you don't know, whether they're a rival from a street away, maybe they're rocking a different color,
right,
or they just have a different mindset, different religion, whatever the case may be, gender, and it puts you in a situation where you can create uniformity and some unity amongst these kids, so we can be like, hey, the next time we all gonna go to Kings Island. Some of these kids don't know what it's like to express their joy and happiness and be disconnected from their reality, being on the top of a roller coaster, how many feet in the air, and looking at settings and beauty that they just haven't seen before.
And man, as much as I got to say, I'm not going against you because gestures of positivity is everything.
Yeah.
What these young people been doing lately, I don't know if you've seen it, they tried to do a takeover at the fair yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm always on the opposition because that's the people I deal with. I deal with the young people that got behavior problems. So I always feel when I'm not going against you, family, but because I deal with the young people who got the behavior issues in the school every day, those are the ones I go help on a daily basis.
But like you said, behavioral issues is mental disease. They fall in the same
First
bracket.
of all, you already know. Most
trauma,
they take medicine.
What's going on at home.
Look, and we got medicine.
How many of them kids are premature? How many of those kids have been abused?
Listen, you going into the details. And guess
age?
what? Those are the things we have no clue about when this face value.
That's why I
so
said
that's
you
what
gotta institute.
That's why we work on having these positive, we have treatments. Yeah. We have sessions where you in class for 15 minutes. You ain't going to stay here for no whole hour. 15 minutes. Oh, you got that work done? Man, let's go take a break. Go get you a popsicle. Let's go outside, do extra recess. Cause we gauge with them to help them understand. So just like what you said a minute ago, when it's time to do words, I'm a hip hop guy when I'm at school. They love me because I like to rap. So I'll say, hey, who you like? Let me hear you rap one of their raps. So I say, you can't say that. Can you rap somebody else's? Oh, then I kick some. So it's still learning, still like the recollection. It's still understanding the energy that somebody's trying to give you a positive.
Yeah.
And that's where it feel good, man, when I'm in the schools, when I'm in the detention centers, when I go to a prison with a grown-up, young people together eating pizza. Last week they was eating pizza and cupcakes together on a psychological note, I'm like, they eating pizza and cupcakes together. He got 25 to life. You ain't never been in trouble yet in your life, and you can be where he is if you make poor choices and decisions.
Yeah. But yeah, there's multiple aspects of how you can attach or attack the problem. I'm just saying music is such a big component
Definitely.
of what you're seeing when you see kids that probably now, because of the Spin That record, that's going to go out and boost and shoplift.
God.
Those are direct influences. But that's not to say when Onyx came out with Throw
Slam.
Your Guns in the Air,
Yeah.
as nice of a kid as I was, I remember being on a bus listening to the song with my headphones on with the super bass button on the Walkman, feeling like I wanted to punch everybody in the face on the bus. So
Once
music
again,
absolutely has an
music
influence.
is definitely influential.
Absolutely. So what I'm saying is, between the influences of music, life, and now you got social media where you get accolades for jumping somebody or beating somebody up and it's on camera.
Okay.
I'm just saying these are all things that didn't exist in our era, and we had it rough. So what I'm saying now is these kids have the pressure of being popular and being amongst that same community at the same lunch
By
table
inflicting violence.
by inflicting anything. That's just something that's being popularized. You know why? It's systematic. The news is going to pick up the story when you got 20 black kids jumping on, one kid. How many times do you see that with other races? It's redundant. When you go to Columbus, Columbus was it busted? With the mug
They
shot?
got so many different things now. They just promote the negativity so much.
Yeah.
See, man, this just messed up on so many levels because society's geared towards so much negativity now. It's like they're training
with us being envisioned as
followers
the way they want to
more than
envision.
ever.
But that's not to say that there's not no good kids out there.
No, absolutely, man. You know how
There's
many young,
excellent
good,
kids
young,
on honor roll,
there's so many great young individuals
knocking
out there.
down the
And
walls.
guess what the problem is? That peer pressure, motherfucker, man. See, that peer pressure is so crazy. You could take a perfect little young man who you thought was right. He hung with the wrong people for 30 days, 15. Send him to the charter school with them kids that's all got kicked out of school. You just now thought you sent your kid to this charter school with all these excellent, prominent, academically trained kids. He going to kids with all gangbangers who sell dope, who smoke weed. Look. Now your son in 30 days turned into one of them, cussing you out, yelling you out, punched a hole in the wall, ran away, wouldn't got in a stolen car. You like, how did this happen in 30 days?
Yeah.
The influence.
But there's no end all be all. Violence has been here since man
The beginning
was
of
created,
time.
Since the beginning of time. The only thing we can do is try, make efforts, make attempts. You know what I mean? Plant seeds of positivity and see where it goes. But there's bright youth out there. There's youth out there that's navigating the same way I did, coming up under the worst circumstances, but still have, aspirations of being positive and getting to a point where they can, reflect their energy and create some change.
And this is what I want to ask you. So, what do you think it's going to take to change this theory that I'm on? This lyric, these words, this negative drill, these artists, the rappers just talking about dying and killing. What do you think it's going to take to change that?
Patience and understanding that everything ain't for everybody. Your audience is your audience.
If they live to even be here to see it because of the way they move it. But all jokes aside when it comes to that. So do you believe the change has come like what we doing right now? Taking our time to see what we gonna do with these songs, with these words. First of all, the industry is in shambles because you can't even buy product.
Music is one component. Religion could change some of these kids.
Ain't that something? And that's a whole nother topic.
Somebody just putting their hand on their shoulder and giving them a hug. Like, man, I love you, brother.
Little positive frequency, energy.
You doing this, but I see you doing this. Come and spend the day with me and just don't say a word. Just watch what I do in a day.
And guess what's funny?
So you'll have an understanding of how I move and how I get the money.
Guess what?
Or how I have the resources.
You hit it on the nail. When I worked at the group home, touch was my main thing because they didn't have that type of affection from home. Look, when I read their file, guess what? When they went out with me, it's almost like you was with me somewhere. They ride with me. I say, watch how I do this. Show them how you go market and promote for Hillary Clinton, put signs in yard, then turn around and go sell 10 CDs at the corner store, then have people pull up at the group home, buying shirts. I did this for 3 years. 3 or 4 of them is in school right now, working and doing the right thing. And they see me and say, man, you showed me what to do when I was at that group home, bro. I really thank you. 2 or 3 of them dead. Didn't listen at all. 2 or 3 of them in prison. Didn't listen at all. You can't save everybody. And that's what we got to remember. Even with what he's saying right now. Yes, we got some sprinkles. But what about the ones that want to be giants? We got to make sure we support them. So anybody out there that got a niece or nephew, daughter or son, brother, sister, cousins, a next door neighbor's son who ain't even your son, but you know he going through something. I'm talking about, like he just said, when you touch somebody on the shoulder, don't know what they dealing with, and you might have given them just a little comfort to change their mindset for that moment. That can spark something for the rest of their life. So anytime we're dealing with mental health problems and trauma, you don't never know what I'm going through at home right now. We don't know what this man going through at home right now, or what we overcame. So the question is, where we going? When we talk about change, when we talk about making a better positive force for this music, I know you've done that since I met you. So for you to keep going and what you're doing, it's still playing a factor right now. I know I got Stack Boys, Smurf and Quay, King Arthur. These guys been representing with the realest records for a decade or more. Guess what you did? Reached out to them. You didn't just reach out to me. See, this is how you show that love. See, I'm all this me. What he did for me. He did this for me. He's an advocate for me. Oh, my man, the best DJ. Shout out C Magic and DJ Con Artist. Smurf, Quay, King Art extended his hand and his heart out to make sure y'all was straight. I didn't even know it was an opportunity for me until he hit me. Then when he hit me, he told me he hit y'all. So I didn't even call y'all and say, hey man, y'all want a slot? I didn't know it was an open slot. So guess what's real? He called to give y'all a slot. So I would have loved to have been the one to say, man, I got y'all a slot. Right back to the source. And this is what makes these interviews dope. When you know you coming in here and you sitting down with somebody you got so much love for, and you're able to transform or transmit this information to one another for the world to hear. He dropped so many jewels on y'all just on our first segment. I can't wait to drop it so the world can hear how he feel, where he coming from, what he been through.
Yeah, man. I love where I'm from. I love where I'm at, and I'm gonna represent both. That's who I am. When I walk, I am Asbury Park, New Jersey. I am Columbus, Ohio. I'm the author of my book, so ain't nobody gonna tell my story better than me.
Have you wrote a book yet?
Nah, this will be. I've thought about it. You know what I mean?
Well, I hate to tell you right now, this is worldwide demonstration right here, man. This podcast ain't just for the locals. We putting this everywhere. So what you should do is, number one, go ahead, come up with your title for your book. You might as well, man, because as much as I know you got more to say, I'm sure you writing a book, maybe even some mini series and some time to see. Because I want to start doing mini movies too. Kind of, we got a lot of work to do, man. I want to do another tape with you. So I need to sit down and figure out what you need from me so we can really get the ball rolling with that. Because I'm sure you about to be busy. I don't know if you about to travel with the guys, man.
Everything is about timing. As long as the music and the message is right, I feel like the DJ aspect or the mixtape aspect has run its course.
Okay.
So I really believe in put out the product. If you need me to host it, or if you feel like my voice or involvement is that important, I'm with it. Yeah. But I feel like that era has come and gone. Now it's about selling a product because people want to buy Wallaby. They're not buying it from me. They may see my name on it, and that may help the influence of the sale.
Right.
But at the end of the day, your message is so powerful that I don't want to be talking over your words.
Right.
So that's completely up to you. I'm with it. I would much rather host in an album format because I believe you're an artist that should be putting out
So
albums.
we might have to give him an album format or something. I think I already got the title. You know, we did Urban Nation one. They want to blackmail rap.
Like those. I kept it minimal because I felt like these were street albums.
We did Urban Nation 2.
Yeah.
All for a cause.
So many.
And then I think we're going to go ahead and do us one more. It might not be like this. It might be something new. We're going to do something unique and original. Maybe do something where we shoot some vids.
I really felt like the title should be War Against Love.
Well, I'm going to keep that in my mind. He said War Against Love. Mine was MAGA. Make America Grind Again.
I
But
like
that
that
was
as well.
that was from what's going on right now in the world. What'd you just say though?
War against love. And love is everything that we're talking about. Love isn't just a feeling. It's everything, every component, whether it be hip hop, perseverance, fighting back, resilience, all of those components, and you getting attacked from all of these outside elements, music included.
As y'all can see, like he just said, when you talk about everything that we just now discussed, it was a war in your world, in my world, from where we come from. And then there's love that you share, that I share, that you share with me, that we share with these young people, that we share with the hip hop community, that we share when we go spit a hot verse and somebody's loving it. We don't know how much they loving it, how much they was influenced off those verses we kicked last weekend. War and love. I'm talking about, if you go back and you listen to this podcast today on Worth, you're going to see the difference between the war and the love. Our whole conversation really has been about like war and love, the positive against the negative, what he encountered to how he triumphed. See, they say a positive perspective produces a positive performance. And again, this is beautiful for me to even be able to sit here with this man and be able to break down the stuff that we encounter, the stuff that we dealing with, and the problems that we still want to solve.
Right. But the fact that we're out here being advocates and attacking the problem, that's our mission course. It don't matter how the story ends. It's the fact that we were on the front lines. Malcolm, Martin, tons of people did their due diligence.
Well, we got Harriet Tubman right here on the wall. I'm talking about one of the biggest poets I've seen in a long time.
We got the Underground Railroad.
She's staring right at us.
Portions of the Underground Railroad right
Believe,
here in Columbus, Ohio.
Dream. I'm talking about, it's just interesting how when you sit down and you build and you really talk about stuff that's happening in your life or stuff that's happened before in your life, it lets you really catch up to where you going. Where am I headed? I need to take a deep breath and find out what should I be concentrating on right now. Like at my age, still wanting to rap, still want to do film, still want to do a clothing line, I want to keep living. There's no age on anything I just said. In fact, I'm going to continue to build, learn, keep grinding, keep on doing what I need to do to make my happiness within. See, this ain't about money. Like you said, you can have all the money in the world and be as miserable as it gets. All the money in the world can't pay for me to like your music if you really can't rap. So I believe that this time for us is continue to grind, Mr. DJ Conrad, my brother Keyshan. From everything that you've given me to what you just told me just now, be unique with this new demonstration.
Be a soldier. Sometimes being a soldier is just as cool as being a general or a sergeant. Sometimes we just need to be the one to put the hand in addition to the man before us or the man behind us. And I'm cool with that. I don't need to be.
That's how you keep the boat going.
I don't need the lights on me at all.
I'll be honest. What he just said, that's how you keep the boat going. Somebody in the back, somebody in the front, somebody behind you, somebody in front of them. That's how you keep this moving.
I've only ever used my name as a catapult because my name is tied to 15, 20, 30 people that I need the lights to shine on them. I never use this to be like, yeah, I want the glory. If you know me in real life, you know that ain't how I move.
When I first met you, like before I really knew, it might have been your name that threw me off, like DJ Con artist. Nigga, I'm an artist and I love rapping. I ain't Gary get DJ Con artist. It might have been that name, that DJ Con artist. He sound like he might be con or something.
So many people ask me about that, but the metaphor,
DJ Con artist, like that nigga conned us all. But the metaphor, never conned us once.
But the metaphor, obviously DJ. That's the element. I am a DJ. Been a DJ.
How'd you come with that? Where'd that come from?
Con artist. Obviously, con is a manipulative person. Art, the art form of hip hop or any music that I play. So it's the manipulation of music because that's the essence of.
Is that what your definition was when you first took that? And when you adopt that name? What year?
95. I didn't go public until 96.
DJ Con artist.
Yeah, I got pictures of me in that rooming house in the apartment. Graffiti with my name on the wall, like I'm gonna take that name somewhere one day. But yeah, the art of manipulating music as an expression. You take a beat, you take an acapella, that's blending. That's the era I come from, blending. blending music, creating a new
Look,
sound,
man.
creating an art.
I'm talking about from every aspect. This man is teaching y'all, giving y'all some game, gave y'all some history, told you where he came from, where he got his name from.
I always
Is there
wanted
anything else you want the people to know? Do you got anything coming up that you want them to be aware of?
Yeah, absolutely. Being an alternative to what's outside is absolutely cool. I think I'm one of the coolest dudes on earth. I don't have 100% confidence, but I will never let you see that when I'm walking. I'm walking with a grace and a confidence because I know what I'm trying to do, and that's my purpose. I'm walking my walk.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless of how you feel about me, if you get to know me and I let you into my world, and obviously you have to achieve some milestones for that to happen. I can, like I said, count on my hand how many people has ever been to my home or around my.
And
family.
I've been in your, like I said, I came to pick up, and I came.
You probably been invited to a couple barbecues.
Mm-hmm.
You probably met.
Did I meet your brother?
You've met my brother.
And your dad?
You've met a lot of my exes.
Okay.
A lot of my exes.
Try to forget about any ex.
One of which I met at our workplace in '98. You remember? But anyhow.
Okay.
But anyhow.
You got to use your surroundings and your resources. That's one thing I know you've always done. You've been very resourceful, and definitely for us in Columbus, Ohio. If there's nothing else, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna congratulate this man on all his accomplishments, especially over these 30 years pushing this mixed vibes entertainment. For every artist in Columbus, Ohio that he's ever supported, put in a show, put in a position. It's nothing but love and blessings, man, coming from Wallo the Realist, a.k.a. Wallo Reall. And from the Realist Records, we definitely, and every record label, every artist that's in this city that knows him, I'm sure you got to feel the same way from him trying to put us in position. And that's something that I would have to tell you right now live on this tape, my brother.
Yeah.
That is nothing but love for forever and ever. And like I said, if we need to do another interview, man, and we can bust down some more topics. I mean, I love talking to people who got wisdom and knowledge because it helps me grow.
Yeah. Well, let me get this off. Shout out, and again, when we're speaking on resources and why I'm still in it,
yes, sir,
is because I have more resources now than I did back then. I can make a phone call and be at the radio station in 15 minutes because some of those peers and PDs and, you know, on
you
air
planted the seeds.
I have relationships with because they respect how I move, not because I grease palms or anything like that. Because hey,
he said he ain't sell himself out to get where he is.
This is my ideology, and I have talents here in the city. But knowing how the industry is, you can't get on the radio unless you have a backer or an investment or a label. But people like me can make that phone call and get you on a mix show where your song can get played 3 times a week over the course of a month. That reception of 70,000 listeners between the hours of 5 to 8 a.m. can get you booked into a show where not only can you recoup your investment, you can make some profit to upgrade your product, upgrade your brand, build a business. You know what I mean? Treat yourself. Go on a vacation. Do something positive. So everybody's crying like they don't have resources, and I've been here 30 years. You know how many people I've given it advice to that haven't took it?
Hey, listen.
Now, if I got people like you saying he the truth and he back up his every word, why am I not getting a phone call 10 times a day? Like, hey, I want to get on the radio. I want to get on that big stage. I want to get a feature with a Grammy-winning artist. How many times have I brought Mickey Fax to the city?
Listen.
Mickey Fax is a ghostwriter for Kanye West. He won a Grammy off of a record called Jail with Kanye West and Jay-Z, 2 of the biggest artists on the universe. And I can make a phone call. Hey, I got an artist. It's a good song. No, it's a great song, and I hear you on it. Can you give me the best possible number to give this artist a chance? Matter of fact, can you come out here and record the verse and a video? And this is, you know, props to Mickey Fax, because not every artist is going to do that.
Mickey Fax comes like this when you put him on the line, because guess what you do? He came out here and he spread so much love to so many of us. When he comes, he almost feel like he at home, man. Shout out Mickey Fax again. I'm talking about. So now let me ask you this.
But that's a testament. Not every artist is going to be like that.
Absolutely.
But if you're fortunate to bypass your everyday rapper.
He's an educator too, and he care about the people.
Pendulum Inc. He's a dean of a university that teaches every component of hip hop.
And he almost got one of the biggest podcasts that my wife love watching right now with him and the Ray Daniels show.
Listen, my point is, We all have resources. They can come to you and get their CDs and USBs pressed up. We can get them an interview in the same week on either of the radio stations.
Absolutely.
We can get them on a showcase as a co-headliner with a major starring artist. We can get their records spun monthly until the budget runs dry, where there's enough popularity and residual coming back on your investment. Now you're just flipping your money.
So as y'all can see, how much resources did he gain? How many resources do we have now? See, that's what they never understand. See, this guy might be one of them gentlemen where, you know, when you see somebody, you're like, hey man, how can I get in touch with you? He might not even have a number for you. He might not ever have an email for you. I mean, my man done so much work. And then he's telling you health is real important. Wealth is cool. Health is what much more. The stress and depression that come from the game and the industry when you ain't ready to roll. So what I'm saying is when you come across my man's path, at least be ready. Have a budget. Have something together. Like even for me, dealing with him going forward right now, I want to make sure everything makes sense.
My confidence is so much so that you could come to me with an idea and I can have your product, your launch campaign, your feature, your cover art, your photography session, and a blueprint for you where I can feel if I can't make you a star in 6 months, I'm absolutely going to quadruple your status from where we are today.
And guess what the good news is, y'all? I'm listening to him like I should have listened to him 15 years ago. And I did and did it. And it did exactly what he just said. So now at this age, if I'm going to take that chance and risk, I better jump on it and do it better than I've ever done it before. Because guess what? The time is now for us. I'm talking about it don't matter. We still alive and well. I'm going to shake your hand again.
Yeah.
Give you your flowers because what he just told me is, again, you want me to put another battery in your back, Wallaby? You want one more alkaline? Let me throw this. What's a 9-volt? What you want me to put in your back? Double D's or C's this time, Wallaby?
Yeah.
So guess what he's telling me is, you gonna take advantage of this opportunity. Fuck the mixtape, nigga. You wanna go and get busy with the Hood Solid album, drop
now
this single.
You understand why I'm pushing you that way.
You wanna drop, did you hear that song I dropped called She Bad? Did you like that She Bad?
Absolutely. But a mixtape ain't gonna get no radio play.
No, hell no.
That's why I'm trying to push you to do a formatted album.
And that's what we gonna do.
So we can get them songs up to the radio and push these visuals.
Maybe I just wanted to be a part of you still, man. Maybe I just wanted to plant the seed.
I can do an intro and I can do an outro.
So guess what we gonna do? I'm gonna take that advice, and this is where we gonna end and wrap this up, so we can go and get to where we gotta go. Bro.
And you know I'm gonna push it.
Man, you ain't even got to.
So
listen,
my DNA, my fingerprint will be on it.
Hey, y'all, listen. Put your hands on that one time.
Let's go.
Hey, y'all. It's been a pleasure even being able to sit down with my brother and even find out some truth to his story and his past and his life to where we headed, to where we going. I'm talking about from what he just told all y'all from this information. You better soak all the information up you get. It ain't going to be too many more of these guys that's on this planet straight from Asbury Park, New Jersey. East Coast brethren in Ohio.
Resident of Columbus, Ohio.
And we've been repping with us for so long. I want y'all to know, this is worth overcoming, rebuilding, teaching health. From Federal to Incredible Podcast Studios is where we are. Do you want to give them a handle? Do you want to give them your Instagram or Facebook? Or do you want to?
DJ Con Artist 75 on all platforms. If you're fortunate to have my phone number, holler. You know what I can do. Other than that, man, for anybody that don't know me, there's resources out there. Look for them. Stop being lazy. Get off the couch. You know, there's events everywhere where you got mic drops, open mics. Those is cool. But there's literally resources in this city.
Oh, DJ Highlight.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. We was in the middle of a podcast. You know, for certain people, we got to get the phone highlight.
Yo, smash burgers.
Smash burger.
Holy cow. Holy sinner.
Hold on, I can't hear you. Let me cut this up. DJ Con Artist, Highlight, Wallaby all together. What's up, boy?
That's another example. That's 2 legends on the couch right there. That's another example. That cat, I had his mixtape.
Say it again, like.
Hey, that's 2 legends on the couch right there. Con Artist and Wallaby in the same room.
Y'all see it feel good when you in presence of good people.
Turn that camera around so the camera can see.
Let me show old Highlight. We're going to zoom in. There you go.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah. So listen, hey, like, you know, we salute you, man. You know, we give you number flowers too. Look, you see, we still working, baby.
Yeah, I already know. That's what I called you for. Calling you to get done.
Say no more.
All right, love.
Love.
And see, and that's what this shit is about.
Yeah, but I used to have his mixtapes in my store back in the day.
We used to put Highlight on stage with him and Rick Rain. Highlight was about
Rick
300
Rain.
pounds. Now he looking good, eating squid and all kind of lobster. Shout out Highlight. Keep on working, Doobie. How boys, man.
And that's a testament. I can't tell you that I've sat down and broke bread with Highlight, but the respect is there. When we see each other, it's love. You get what I'm saying? And that's because, again, he was sitting at a different table than I was. But the mutual interest is the love for the culture. The culture gonna bring us all apart. So whoever I haven't met or haven't had the chance to work with yet,
Right.
I'm still breathing, so that chance is still there. It may not be as accessible as it was, but you know, if you get a cosign here and there, you might be all right. Not being on no cocky shit, just where I'm at my age. I'm 50 plus.
Right.
You know, I only have so much energy that I want to put into people. It's all about the culture right now.
Well, that's what you heard me say. Like, instead of giving out your number, giving out your information, man, just check him out on the Facebook or the Instagram so you can be like, okay, I see my brother still moving. Do I got something that can fit the mold? Because guess what? We don't got time to waste. Like I said, life is short. We've been breathing in and out all these years, and we ain't going nowhere no time soon. We going to keep grinding, keep on working, keep on pumping. Just like that. We got a call from a guy that's all over the country. And he's calling us just to find out, hey, what y'all got going on? Oh, y'all still working? Or I need some Wallaby, in other words. So it's been a blessing to be able to come on here, worth overcoming, rebuilding, teaching, help. This is just another segment on how you sit down with somebody that's going to be real, going to be honest about their life and where they're going, and then give you the proper advice to keep yourself going and keep yourself motivated. So much love, Con Artists. We hood solid, baby. We signing out. Con Artists. One more time, man. If they want to catch up with you, what was it?
DJ Con Artist 75 on X, aka Twitter, Instagram, Threads, shit, whatever else may be out there. Whatever's coming soon, it'll be the same hashtag, God willing. You know, I don't do the Facebook unless you a definitive friend or family. That's more like
I see Keishan come up when I tag you.
Yeah.
Any shout outs you want to give before we clip this, G?
Everybody I've ever interacted with, anybody that I've ever worked with. Shout out to the Alliance DJs, the entire crew. You know, obviously Dami Styles is the head of that hub, and that's a whole nother conversation. But Dami Styles' influence on helping me be more accessible and tapping me in with a lot of Columbus artists is a great contribution to why, you know, I have the relationships I have now. Shout out to all the pioneers from the beginning of hip hop to now that influenced my thought process. Music is everything to me. Shout out to my friends, obviously, you know, the little bit of family that I got and the little structure that I have there. And then, you know, the culture in every facet, you know, the religious components, music components, dietary components. There's so many things that make me smile and happy that, and I'm sure it does for all of you guys as well. But, you know, fight the fight, make a difference. Everybody, you know, can't be a superstar, but you could absolutely be an asset to your community, to your peers, to your people. And just to rewind, there was a part of an interview where we spoke on my health and we kind of jumped the subject when we were at the core component. Medicine is a component that saved my life. Obviously, there were other factors, the doctors, you know, whatever your belief is. But when I got to the point where they declared my possible death at the age of 15, the Make-A-Wish Foundation came out, paid for everything, flew me. They gave me 3 choices. Who do you want? You know, what are your 3 wishes? I said to meet Magic Johnson at the time. I was a big Laker fan. To meet Michael Jackson, or Tretch of Naughty by Nature at that point, which was a brand new artist, or to go to Disneyland. And the only thing that became available was Disneyland. But they sent the limo to pick me up. You know, me, my younger brother at the time, my mother, drove us all the way to Newark Airport, flew us to Florida, all expenses paid, everything was all inclusive. And, you know, Make-A-Wish is a very significant foundation. So if I ever get to the point where I have, expendable funds or, excess money, that's one of the causes I would want to donate to. And I would encourage you to do your research and do the same. A dollar makes a difference. It doesn't have to be hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's a great cause. And it opened my world up to, what was life like outside of the ghetto. And I think that was going back to our points about the education and giving chance to go to a concert, go to an amusement park. That spark did something for me. And I don't know if I can explain it now, but it definitely gave me the process that, damn, I want to give back. And hopefully I'll get to that point. But in any event, when that expectation was set that I was going to die, there was a medication that was introduced to me called Cytoxin. Cytoxin is a medicine given to chemo patients that are dealing with cancer. So what they told me at the time was that you would be sterile for 1 year, heavy emphasis on 1 year, and that you may gain a little bit of weight at first, which I was already gaining weight because I was retaining water. And you might have some significant mood swings with the medicine. Fast forward a year, my kidney disease stabilized as my kidneys continued to decrease in function. It didn't come until about 4 years ago that I had to rely on dialysis to keep me alive, which I'm on now. There's a port in my chest. I go to dialysis 3 times a week, and it's a component that keeps me alive and keeps me functioning. So that's a testament to technology, doctors, and medicine from my standpoint. Nevertheless, after I got off the medicine, I became stable and was able to resume life, with very minimal medicine. Pretty much was able to eat what I wanted without any repercussions. But over the years, I started to realize that I would have outbursts, so to speak. When I would get mad, it would be an explosive madness. I was dealing with prednisone, which is a steroid, and these things would induce angers. So when you factor that into my childhood and the upbringings and the things that I saw and endured, ironically, it didn't happen until I got to Columbus.